Guys, I'm back. I'm sorry I haven't uploaded much. I have thought of this. This is the ultimate alchemist Naruto. So this is what he will look like. This is the transmutation circle. He can place more stuff into it, and it will go into what I call a transmutation network. He can exchange it for something of equivalent value. The gem, which makes it so that things are more it can make it so that it doubles the amount of the exchange for this alchemy. Then there's light alchemy, which is essentially like good types of alchemy that can do good things. Then there's the ancient type, which is used to make ancient alchemy abilities and like make yourself have abilities and so on. And then dark. And then he has this dojutsu. That's his clan's ability is alchemy. And then that's the neutral alchemy. So, let's get into this. So we see a 4-year-old Naruto as everything went into canon on the Nine Tails attack, just so you know. And essentially, we see the third saying, "I know what it's something that you have," but because it said that if an Uzumaki has black hair, they have the ability of something called alchemy. This book was, your mother told me to give you this book. I cannot say who she is, but she told me to give you this book after seeing your black hair. Because she died during the QB attack, he says. Either way, you will have access to more types of alchemy. That's what she says, as everyone has the chance to do it. Transmutation is one of the other abilities you have. You have light alchemy, ancient alchemy, dark alchemy, and transmutation. And those are the 3 different alchemies you will have. So what we know about the alchemy is that it is. You know what? Just read the book and you'll know. So we skip 1 year. Naruto has started getting obsessed with, hasn't read the book yet. He's just learned to read a year ago, and he hasn't read the book yet. He finds the book and says, Old Man Third said this was a gift from my mother, so I might as well read it." As he starts reading it, he sees the Uzumaki clan that when they have black hair means they have access to alchemy. And because of their access to alchemy, they will have different abilities. As it shows how to make a transmutation circle, the light, dark, and neutral transmutation circles or alchemy circles. And by the way, this is the book. This is the book that he got. So yeah, that's what the book looks like. So he started reading from it. He was reading from the alchemy book and found out about that he has a dojutsu, which is very powerful, which essentially allows him to easily do things. Just so you know, ancient alchemy is alchemy that he learns from, because essentially this is the alchemy of the first alchemy user. It says that the first alchemy user had an unknown alchemy that very few can use. Actually, no, not use, know about. And then he proceeds to learn the transmutation circle. And he finds this piece of chalk. He asks for transmutation. He looks and sees, but before that, he saw how to make transmutation chalk. This is a chalk that cannot be destroyed, as it explains that the thing I explained with the transmutation circle. So he asks Old Man for the Old Man Third. He says, "Gramps, can I please have some chalk and chakra paper, this as well as a little bit of chakra metal dust, So what he did is he covered in chalk. He crushed the chalk, normal chalk, and he says, "No, what? Sure, Naruto." As they see him crush it and mix it the chakra metal dust with the other thing, and then he goes and grabs a bunch of dirt, as well as then he puts a drop of blood on and then he goes and he get and he soaks and then he has, and then he leaves, and then he essentially puts a single drop of blood on the small sheet of chakra paper and places the dust on it. He then closes it up and drops one more drop of blood, and then he says, "Alchemy." As then he reads from the book, "Alchemy, I call on you. I invoke you forth. I awaken the alchemy. I give, and by making this alchemy chalk." He says, as they see, as the screen would show that the book started glowing, and they see start turning pages and show the last piece, which is to crush it, which is to infuse your chakra into it. As by now, he already has learned how to awaken. He's already awakened the chakra, as he's a little bit of as he's a prodigy of sorts, but he does not show it. So yeah, so he then and then they and then we see it go up. Then you see it turn into crystal, and then the crystal disperse, leaving a piece of chalk. And by the way, it's this type of crystal. And then they see the chalk you see him make this transmutation circle. But then after making this, he goes and finds how to make the blue one, the light and the dark transmutation chalk. After this, he asks for the materials for them, and he makes them. He then makes, and by the way, he's making this all, and then he makes the light and dark. However, he does not know how to use all of them yet. But then he feels this urge, and he sees a memory of someone making ancient transmutation chalk. So he makes, which is essentially the dust of the other kinds. So what he does is he does this. He uses it, and then he makes this by after making by essentially it came to him to just make this, and he created the ancient transmutation circle, and he gained the memory on how to make the gem, but he does not know what the gem does. So he asks the old man for chakra metal, a bunch of coal, some highly conductant chakra paper that takes a ton of chakra, and then last but not least, he asks for a small piece of blue ice, and he he says, "Sure, but why do you need this?" "Well, I got a vision of how to make it via alchemy." So what he does, how to make a gem via alchemy, and that's what it said it needed. But it also, I already got the last thing because the scroll proved. But I saw a puff of smoke, and it gave me a small diamond that I needed, and it was crushed up into powder, just so you know. And I just crushed it because that's what was needed, crushed diamond powder. So, can I ask for the stuff? You know what? Fine. As he gives him the stuff, he starts using the paper and then he grabs a pen, and what he does is he then uses he does the light one on. What he does is he essentially draws the transmutation circle, and see where those three bits are. Instead of that, what he does on a giant paper on top of it, instead of those three little spots where they connect off, where they connect to the circle, he placed the light, the ancient, and the dark. And he says, and he burns the giant piece of chocolate paper with this. Actually, no, it does the same thing, and then it all compresses into the middle of it and goes down, and it absorbs the the ancient chakra, the ancient alchemy chalk, which is used for the basics, and it leaves this small gem behind. He puts it on a necklace, and he never takes it off, thinking that it has some form of connection to his family. So, and this was true, as his great great grandfather, like basically his very far descendant, was the one who created the ancient one. So what he did after this is he saw a vision on how to use this. So what he did is he had to do this. He placed this. He essentially used, see those, so what happened is he drew in the blue chalk, in the light chalk, like all the lines in the center here. And then for this one, he made, like, see the little things that are coming out, like that, and that. Well, he drew those on it, then in the ancient chalk, and then the rest of it in this chalk. And what he did is he says, and then he placed, but this is before he made it into a necklace, by the way. He placed this in the middle and says, I awaken you, almighty dojutsu. I call it, and with my chakra, I summon forth the dojutsu of the ancient one, the Alchemagon. Actually, you know what? Not Alchemagon. You know what? Y'all decide the name of the dojutsu. So, basically insert dojutsu name here, and then you see the chalk all combine, and then the gem on it, throw some of energy, go through it, and then come and press, and then shoot a beam at the two orbs, and these two orbs turn into light, or into light with light orbs, and they go on his eyes, and then and then you see him with two of enter dojutsu name here. And that's where we leave it off. Bye, guys. And I think y'all should, in fact, you know what? If you want, like, subscribe, and the more likes you show on this video, the more I can tell you're liking it. But if it has a bunch of views, yeah, that's also going to motivate me to do it. I'm going to try and get back to my schedule of doing daily uploads. This is a quite fun one. This one is not scripted this time, so any mistakes I make are probably just going to be me forgetting something. So either way, this is the end of the video. Bye, guys. Cliffhanger no jutsu.